Yeah.
Hello, I am Carol, and this is,
Eric.
and we are flirting with realities.
Woo!
Woo!
Exciting night.
So exciting.
Yeah.
We're trying to contain it.
I think we just did contain it successfully.
I think we did. We're successfully contained.
What is up with you, Carolee? I guess we haven't we skipped last week's podcast because it was Thanksgiving.
Yes, it was a holiday. It was a special day.
Yeah, and I think that's very acceptable for us to skip that.
Yeah.
Had a good Thanksgiving. Had my kids over and we ate steak. We basically had Thanksgiving, but we traded the turkey for steak, which is an awesome trade.
I think so. I think it was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, nobody likes turkey. No. Mashed potatoes and stuffing and just the norms. So it was good. I got a cold, which is awesome. It's funny because I only leave the house on Wednesdays now to go see the kids, but I still manage to. It's funny because it's like this is what like my lead indicator was about COVID. Was they're like it's like way more contagious than any other like virus or whatever, and like everybody's getting it, and blah 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 blah. You know, and that was like what that was like early February, maybe March. They were saying that, and then that's why rolling around to April, May, and I was like, okay, like listen, if I don't have it, it's not that contagious, because this is how I feel. Is like every time a cold goes around,
you get it.
Oh, for sure, it's for sure, and it's not like COVID. I was totally reckless. I was whatever. I went everywhere without a mask, did everything. I never got it, and then yeah, a cold is like. I mean, I guess I don't take any safety precautions for that either, but I just instantly get it. So my kids had it on Thanksgiving.
My immune system's so awesome right now. I'm managing to not get it. We'll see what happens next week. But
yeah, well, I mean, like isn't that weird? Like what is your immune system? What does that mean?
It's your body's ability to notice things that don't belong there and go attack them.
So it's just that my body's too dumb to figure it out. Like my body's like, whatever.
We're not gonna say it was dumb. It could be working on other things right now.
Oh, it is. It's busy. It's just like we don't have time for this. Cold. We're gonna do other stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, like seriously, like think about it. What does it mean? It's like your body's not aware. Your body's not capable. Like why are we not all basically the same? Because like you were talking about. You had an interesting thought the other day was why don't our teeth heal themselves or grow back?
Yeah.
I mean, like you could cut off the tip of your finger and it just grows back. You know, and it's like that's a good question. Like teeth, like what else doesn't grow back? Like you have to cut a certain portion of like your finger off before it doesn't grow back, and then it's just like, hey, that's too much work. We're not doing that. But I don't know. I guess like I guess that's kind of weird because like if I did cut the tip of my finger off, I feel like I would have a new finger in record time. Like super fast healing, crazy healing.
Yeah, because I cut my finger not off, and it literally is almost just back to normal.
Fast?
Yeah, that's pretty fast. Less than 2 weeks, like a week and a half maybe. I think that's fast.
So why would I like have super fast healing, like cut my finger off, but then like I can't heal from a virus? You know, like why is my body not capable of it? You know what I mean? It's just a weird thought. Like why is my body? Like there's some people. Like I had a friend that never got sick ever.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Ever. Like, well, how do I get what they've got? Like, what is it? Just a mindset, or is it like your body's got capabilities? Like what would those capabilities be? You know, like what is this mindset?
I think
like,
it's a bit of both.
But it's got to be all mindset, right? It's got to be all like the part of the matrix.
Absolutely, my dad has a mindset of like he just doesn't get sick. Like he verbally says that. But I mean, there's a difference between him and you right there because you say, I get every cold that comes around. And he says, I just don't get sick.
Yeah. So think about this though. You know, people that use that the hand sanitizer, you know, and they kill all their bacteria on their hands. Like, what about that? What if like your dad, like I don't know these personal details, but what if your dad was like you and he never used soap when he showered, and it kept all his good bacteria, and that's why he never, you know, or I don't know. This is weird, but like, what if he like never washed his hands after he went to the bathroom, and like it made him adapt to germs and stuff, you know?
Yeah, there could be a number of situations like that.
Yeah, I think that showering without soap is such an interesting idea because it makes so much sense. But I'm so indoctrinated with using soap when I shower.
Yeah, I mean, mine was a freak dermatologist telling me as a child not to use soap. So,
You haven't used soap since you were a kid?
yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, don't get me wrong, like there are times that I need soap, but it's like once a month or
Well, how do you know when you need soap?
you can tell.
Like you just get super dirty and greasy or something?
Like if I'm smelly, like super extra hard workout at the gym, maybe. Yeah. There might be. And the thing is I don't put it all over my body. Like I'll just put it on my armpits or something.
Mm.
I've never soaped up my entire body because that dermatologist told me not to.
Well, so that's interesting, right? So, like, because I feel like you probably do have a better immune system than I do, slightly at least. And you don't use soap in the shower.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. I guess like Adam Carolla is the first one I ever heard talk about that. He said he never uses soap. He's like it's so retarded to use soap, you know.
What's
And
that other guy's name who never used to shower? Oh, Matthew McConaughey never used soap.
in the shower.
Yeah.
Well, like, what are you doing? Like, well, so here's the thing: is like, if I go out in the garage and I get all greasy, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, those are circumstances that are requiring soap.
Yeah, you like go out. If I went out hiking and I was in shorts and my ankles
And you
got
got muddy.
dirty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, it's interesting because why don't maybe that's what we should do is we should make a soap that's not antibacterial. You know, like what if I guess that's the thing is like what do you use that's not antibacterial that would still wash off dirt, you know?
Yeah, that's a little bit of research.
But who's the first guy that ever thought like, hey, let's use a thing to take off bacteria off your skin? I mean, I guess it sounds like bacteria is a horrible thing, so might as well take off.
I mean, I could see why it sells. I
Yeah,
mean, you're like, what? Yeah, get rid of all this bacteria. Yes, get rid of it.
yeah. But we're figuring out like the bacteria is awesome,
Yeah.
like in your stomachs and I don't know. I guess I mean, it's got to be good for your skin, right? Like it's there for a reason.
I mean, there's this new thing, and not too new, but over the last few years, that we have a barrier of skin protection that we've been getting rid of all these years with face products, and now it's
Mm.
like replace the skin barrier. So I think it is kind of a yes. I think we have a skin barrier and healthy things on there that are protecting us.
Well, and hopefully this is okay to ask, but like at night, what do you do? Like, because you go through a process to like wash your face, right?
I do wash my face.
But do you use like alcohol on your face and stuff?
No, no,
Just soap and water?
just soap and water.
So how come you use soap on your face?
Good question. Because a dermatologist told me to wash my face when I was a kid, so I use very gentle soap on my face. I don't just buy any soap.
Oh,
It's a very gentle, like mild soap.
is this the same dermatologist that said don't soap your body?
Yeah. And I put stuff on my face. Like I put blush on, and I don't wear foundation, but I believe
What
these
is
things.
blush? Does it
It's
make your
like a
cheeks rosy?
little, well, yeah. So it's either pink or peach. Yeah, it makes your cheeks a little rosy,
Oh,
or you can pinch them.
oh, really? People do that?
That's like an
Oh,
old school thing, I think.
so what do you think about like just not using blush anymore, and then you don't have to wash your face?
Oh well, I put mascara and eyeshadow on. I have to wash that off.
Mm,
You can't keep that on.
okay. Women have it hard. Gotta wear makeup and
I
then
don't think it's that hard.
like what do you do for mascara? You just go like this, and blink while there's a thing in front of your eye.
I don't blink.
Oh,
I don't
I
put
think
stuff in your eye
mascara
really.
does look pretty good. What do you use? Mascara and eyeliner,
Eyeshadow.
eyeshadow.
I try to use really light colors, but sometimes I'm in the mood for a smoky eye, which
Smoky eye.
yeah. But for the most part, I use very light colored eyeshadow.
I think I notice you when you put mascara on, but I don't know about the rest.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. Guys don't really tend to notice those things.
Hmm. Well, I don't wash my face at night.
I know. I've never met a man that did. In fact, I think I had an old boyfriend once that was like, "I'll try it," and then he's like, "This breaks me out if I wash my face."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Because he removed his bacteria.
I guess so.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he quit.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna stop using soap in the shower to save some money anyway. Because I didn't know this, and I don't know how many guys didn't know this, but you're the one that told me that like if you soap and shampoo your hair, then it gets like kind of dried out. And I never paid attention until you told me that, and so I stopped shampooing my hair every single day, and I actually like it. You know, I
Yeah.
don't. I probably sounds gross to people, but I like it greasier. I like my hair like oilier.
I think a lot of women would understand that. There's a big thing out there of don't wash your hair every day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I don't know. It sounds gross, but I guess just get in the shower, and I do have to wash my hair a lot because I lay on the ground and you don't get dirt in my hair. But same thing is like I just haven't. If I'm not in that situation, I haven't washed my hair, and it's like it gets pretty greasy, and I like it.
That
It's
grease
nice,
is good for your hair. It's natural
natural.
oils that are coming from your scalp.
Well, and what is dandruff? Isn't dandruff like washing your scalp too much? You think?
I think some people naturally have dry scalps, but yes, that could for sure cause that.
I used to have a dry scalp when I was like in junior high, and I don't know why. I'd have
Could have
dandruff.
been bedding. It could have been something you were eating.
That's like an embarrassing problem.
Yeah, my daughter went through that a little
Really?
bit. Yeah,
You like have a black shirt on, and you're always like
yeah.
dandruff. Weird. I haven't had dandruff in years, but I don't know. I used to shave my head, and then I'd get sunburn, and then my head would peel, and everybody would be like, "That's dandruff." I'm like, no, it's not. My head peeling.
Big difference.
Yeah, one's embarrassing, one's not. Yeah. But anyway, I guess we were talking about one topic tonight. We're talking about just how weird the world is getting.
Very weird.
Yeah, and I guess my thoughts on that is, I mean, I can only imagine anybody else who's paying attention, and even people who are not paying attention. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like the world's getting totally weird. And I was wondering tonight, like, well, why is it weird? And I think a lot of the reason I started thinking it's weird is because everything was just flow day in, day out before COVID for me. It was just like okay, well, here's what you're doing. You're going to work a job, and then you're going to make some money, and then you're going to retire, and then yay, and there was like no real anything else going on. That's how I felt. And then COVID came around, and it just really messed me up in the head because, well, I mean, think about how traumatic COVID was. Like, I mean, I think we talked about it every night for a long time.
Well, yeah, it was a major part of your life. Like you can't go out to eat. You get stared at the grocery store if you go in without your mask. I mean, it was part of your day every day.
Yeah, and I think the part for me that was in the sense where the topic we're talking about that was traumatic was I would sit there and I would ask you, I'd be like, people cannot really think this. Like people can't really think the things that they're thinking. There's no way, like what is happening? And my brain could not comprehend that people were thinking the things that was like it just was not plausible for me.
Yeah, you struggled with that.
I still do. I still do. And that's why like that's what started everything so weird to me is I was like there's like I need to talk to everybody because there's no way they're thinking this. They're just I'm not understanding them correctly because they don't think these things that they're thinking. And then I come to find out they did think those things. And it's just but this is a conversation that you and I were having the other day is I feel like there's more things being introduced into our society like this every day to make well so anyway I came up with the theory like the trans thing is like I don't care, I'm just going to talk about it because I'm not shaming anybody, I'm not saying anybody can't be trans or think they're trans, I'm not saying anything like that, but I'm just saying the trans thing is strange because people used to do it and maybe people were closeted with it and that's all fine. But then all of a sudden, like there was a rush.
Well, they're pushing it on children.
Well, okay, and that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Is like, listen, if if there was a guy in like the 80s when it was like totally far out there thing to do, like that's one thing because he was. I think that guy is like the OG, like legit trans because it's like it was frowned upon in society, it wasn't accepted at all. Nobody else was thinking about it much, but he was like, I feel like a fucking woman. I'm gonna dress like a woman.
I'm doing this.
Yeah, so that guy's like legit. Like he came up with these ideas on his own, or he's always felt this way. He wasn't really influenced. I mean, I'm making a lot of generalizations, but I think it's probably true about it. A trans guy or girl, whatever you're supposed to call them in the 80s. So it's like legit. And I think if that's how people are even today, then that's legit.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, like if you go to school, if you go to elementary school and somebody's like, are you a boy or a girl? And you're like, that's a good question. Let me get back to you. And then you come back tomorrow and you go, well, I think I'm a girl that has a penis. And it's like all of a sudden, like that's not your idea. This was pushed, and it's it's just something different. But anyway, the point is like this was introduced. I feel like this was introduced to society, and I can see how people are like, oh well, I don't know, I'll figure out if I'm a boy or girl because it's just like what the normal is.
Yeah, I think it's being pushed too.
But this is what I was saying. Like I was going through a hard time with these flat earther people, and I think flat Earth, like where did flat Earth come from? Like this hasn't been a fucking thing since Christopher Columbus, and all of a sudden it just pops up one day that we're going to talk about flat Earth. This is like trans, like it's the same thing. In 1980, if you were like, I think the Earth's flat, like you're legit flat earther. You're an OG flat earther. Like I respect you because you came up with this shit all on your own and you really feel like it's flat. But that's what I'm saying is flat Earth and trans feel like the same thing to me, where I feel like they've been pushed. I feel like it's been pushed on people, and people are so easily swayed that they're believing in these things. And then this is what I was saying is I feel like there's a bunch of logical people on the sidelines going like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like in the dictionary, we've always said like a male has a penis, and that's the definition, or chromosomes, whatever you want to say. That's how we figured this out. It's not how you feel. Like this is what we figured out. And it's like, whoa, 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 like we have flown planes around the earth, and like, I mean, Christopher Columbus thought he was going to India, but he ran in the United States, North America, whatever you want to call it. We figured all this stuff out. But it's like this is where it gets weird, is because these ideas are being pushed. People are buying into them. And then I am sitting here going like, what are we talking about, everybody? Like, what is going on? This is so, and and this is what I've been saying about flat Earth is like maybe the Earth is flat. I'm not, but why are we all talking about it? Why are we all so concerned about it? Why is it being pushed so hard? And so I think this is like why the world's getting so weird to me is it's just chaos. Everything's turned into chaos, and I think it's by design. Like, why do you feel the world is getting crazy? Like, how that's what I'm saying. That's how I'm explaining like why the world's crazy to me, is because I feel like thoughts are illogical and crazy. And I think when I go out into society, I can see all of it. The crazy thoughts and the like, people are not belonging in reality anymore. Like if you go downtown Portland and there's a bunch of like homeless people, like it's just a weird place because, or like when we went to Seattle, and like almost all of them are talking to themselves. It's just not reality. Those people are not residing in reality.
I don't think they. Yeah, I mean, for sure.
But this
I
is
don't even think the people were residing in reality when we walked upon that food desert
no,
discussion.
no. But this is what I'm saying is like it used to be a handful of homeless people, and you go, oh well, there's a couple crazy people. Of course, that's going to happen. It's the odds. But now it's like it's not only the homeless people, which there are plenty. There's more by the day, and a lot of them have mental issues. But it's your next door neighbor. It's your friend that has changed in the last couple years that are now detaching from reality.
Yeah.
And then it makes you question, like, if everybody else is out of reality, like, what makes me believe that I'm in reality? Because all those people are for sure going, like, these globers are not in reality. They've been indoctrinated and they believe in these things. So it's everybody's kind of looking at everybody else going, like, you don't live in reality. And that's a weird feeling, isn't it? I mean, that's what I feel like. Is that what you feel like?
That it's a weird feeling?
No, that everybody's just kind of going their own directions in whatever they feel like reality is.
I mean, I think that life is that way to an extent anyway. It's
Yeah.
all about perspective and experience and personal experience. I think you're talking about the wild side of it where people are like choosing to be homeless or not choosing. I don't know. Pushing that, and then we're supporting things that are making it worse. And I think you're talking about that side of it, the weird, where people's realities are different. Where it's getting a little like, yes, we used to have like 4 homeless people, and now there's like thousands who are walking around talking to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, but it's everything, right? Like, and it all happened during. Well, a lot of it happened during COVID. Even like the Black Lives Matter movement is like a lot of, or like defund the police. How many of us were just sitting there going, like, you don't want to do what? You want to take away the police, and we're like, you don't understand the problems with taking away police.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's right, take away the police. And now we're sitting here with no police, going like, you guys asked for this, and like to most of us, this was common sense. What was going to happen? We knew what's happening right now was going to happen. How come you didn't know this? This is like easy to believe stuff. But it's the same thing, right? It's like, okay, trans, flat earthers, defund the police people. Like, it's all this thing that people got brainwashed into.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think that, like, I don't know how it was done, but they got to teachers, they got to psychiatrists, they got to doctors, the internet, and yes, these things are being pushed upon people. And is it by design? I don't, it's certainly
Sure.
on purpose.
100%.
There is an agenda behind it. The difference between you and me is I don't think about it the way you do.
Well, okay, but that's what I'm trying to get at, and that's the interesting part is like, so you left the house today, and you're like, oh, it's all crazy out there. If you're not thinking, because that's exactly that like sums up what the world being crazy is.
Yeah.
To me, is everybody's detaching from reality, and everybody's going in their weird directions, and everybody's like, like zombies, and like, well, what does weird and mean to you? Why do you
No,
think
I
things are weird?
agree that it's weird, and I wholeheartedly like that. We're 100%. But the thing is it doesn't. I'm not like, and I think the reason why, and I'm not sure if this is why, is my reality was shaken at a very young age significantly, where I was like, what is happening to my life? And then it happened to me again. So it happened to me twice.
What do you mean happened again? Well, why don't you fill everybody in? Everybody's probably wondering what you're talking about.
So I had a very normal mother growing up until I was about 8 years old, and then she started exhibiting signs of schizophrenia.
And what describes schizophrenia? Like, what are things she
It's
do?
not being in everybody else's reality. Like, you believe people are following you, erratic behavior, chanting, like just all sorts of like she's normally like a mom who bakes at home and goes to church every Wednesday and Sunday, and like all of a sudden she's drinking and going partying. And I know that that can happen, but it's also combined with these like weird outfits. I'd see her out like spinning around in a dress on the side of the road, just like erratic, crazy behavior. So,
But obvious to you, she lost her marbles.
I mean, it took, like, when it first started happening, it wasn't obvious.
Your mom was just acting strange, like she was
Like,
in the mood.
I remember the very first time my reality was kind of like, what is she talking about? She picked me and my sister up from a friend's house, and she was like, I just want you girls to know that God has spoken to me, and he is taking your father, and he's told me he's sending me a younger man to marry. And this was like, I think I was 8 or 9, and it was like,
And she was still married.
yes. And I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I trusted her wholeheartedly at this age.
Oh yeah, at 8.
Yeah. So this was like, I partially was like, this is really happening. And partially was like, this is crazy. So that was like,
Well, what did you think? You're like, damn, that sucks for dad, but I can't wait to see
yeah,
this
I
new
was
guy.
crying. No, I didn't want to see no young new man and to be my dad. No. And I mean, that's just the beginning of it. That's the first thing that I remember that it was obviously very profound to me, that really shook my reality. And it just proceeded to get worse, where like just a lot of paranoia, mistreatment of people that you love. She was very much a good daughter to my grandma as we were growing up, and just became hateful towards her and would tell her, like, you're not my mom. I have a black mom in Fairbanks, Alaska. I mean, it just was abusive, crazy, insane behavior that when you're used to seeing someone that's so nurturing and loving, it is like it shatters your reality. And then it happened to me again with my sister, and me and my sister were very close because we went through this together, losing our mom. And then my sister is bipolar.
I kind of assumed that your sister was like, I mean, she did show like early signs from what you say, right? Like, I mean, she was kind of crazy from the get go,
She definitely had mental problems,
but it,
psychological
but it
problems.
was like maybe you could just blame it on being a quirky person,
Yeah.
and then like you say in like her
Or overly
20s,
sensitive.
in her 20s, it was like she snapped like your mom and just lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that totally makes sense on like why you're steps ahead of me, because I feel like maybe during COVID is where I would have been when you were 8. Oh, mom's gonna get a new husband, and I'm like, you people think a mask is gonna save you from this like killer virus? Like, it's like, I mean, that's to me like before COVID, like everybody had quirks, like nobody was literally crazy,
Yeah.
but people to me now, like I don't know who's sane. There's very few people I would consider
It's
sane.
absolutely weird out there for sure.
But what's funny is like you ever watch I think it was Back to the Future. And I mean obviously I watched this I don't know how many years ago. But you watch Back to the Future, and when he's at the clock tower and he comes back from the future or from the past, comes back from the past, and it's like in I don't know how it works, but like when he goes back to like the 1950s or whatever, like lightning and there's like nobody at the clock tower, and then it comes back to like 1980s or whatever, and there's a homeless guy on the bench. And it's just I don't know if they intended to do that, but it just shows the sign of the times. Like 1950s, there wasn't a dude at the clock tower sleeping on the bench. It wasn't a thing. People
Yeah.
weren't homeless.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like the years go on, it gets worse and worse and worse. But I actually heard that was because I think it was. I always mess up my details, but I heard that was Reagan cut all funding for the mentally insane or whatever, and so the problem was they let all the people out of the hospitals and they became homeless. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I heard, and so that's why we just cut all funding for mental health in this country, and so now like this is what our topic is. I think it's being pushed. I think we're being driven crazy by ideas,
I do too.
and that's what I'm saying. This I've said it before, but this is the man. The man is like, let's start a Facebook group called Flat Earth. And that's the man, and then the actual man is the people who grab onto the ideas and then push it and have the ideas. So like we collectively are the man, but the ideas are sent out there by people for reasons. And it's just become obvious to me that people have a real good grip on human psychology and they are able to manipulate masses super easy.
I don't think it's just psychology. I think it's like what Aaron talks about with thought forms.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
Collective thinking,
yes.
like mass collective thinking, and that's exactly what I'm talking about with the world going crazy. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Is collective mass thinking, and right now everybody's collective mass thinking is thinking crazy shit that's not in reality.
Yeah.
And that's the funny part is you've got these subcultures that are believing in defund the police, flat earth, trans, and then I like to think I'm the only sane person in the world, but whether that's true or not, somebody else can judge. But to me, it's like there is a group of sane, realistic people, but they are driven crazy by the crazy people because they're like having a hard time with understanding everybody else. But maybe that's just me. Like you say, you've got a grip on it, but you've had training, I guess. So
training in my youth.
You're just steps ahead of all of this. I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting if anybody's listening to this, if they wanted to comment and just say, I feel like a lot of people got to be going through the same things I am, where they're like, this is insane. And I mean, like, how many groups of people are there? Right? There's people that aren't paying attention to shit, which is a lot. I think that's a lot of people are not paying attention to shit. And so they don't see anything happening. And then there's people that are being the brainwashed ones. And then there's a small percentage, I think, that are like me. They're like, oh my God. And there's an even smaller percentage like you that are like, yeah, no, I know people crazy. I'm just kind of riding this out. Like, I don't know, whatever you're doing. But
yeah,
but you're still affected, right? Because that's what you said. You left the house today and you're like, woof, like shit is going on out there.
Yeah, I wanted to come home for sure. But it's not like I come home and it's not something that's on my mind at the same level it is yours.
But and then that makes you wonder, like, how much are we driving ourselves crazy because we don't leave the house as much anymore?
Yeah, I think that certainly impacts mentality when you go out and see it. I have to tell you, so I go to the UPS store and like it's like being at Walmart. Like it was like a Walmart like feeling, and it was almost unreal because there was this like 90-year-old lady with dyed red hair and like a pink like jogger outfit, and like everybody just looked like a character. And then you know how you have to like you should be like walking to your right when you leave because the line is at your left.
Yeah.
She just walked right into me. And she, yeah.
But I think you gotta go take a step back for a second. It's like a Walmart, but it's a Pacific Northwest Walmart, which isn't like people are probably like, oh yeah, Walmart. But
yeah, you can't truly understand unless you've been to Washington Walmart.
Well, but what you just said is like a 90-year-old woman with like red hair that is out of her damn mind.
She was out of her mind. You could tell like why she was being helped that she wasn't.
I mean that's what I feel like we could make a TV show just walking around the Pacific Northwest and like showing the people. And I think like other people from other states or other parts in the world would be like, yeah, they walked around all day and they edited all this shit and they picked up the worst of it. Dude, we could have so much content in like 5 or 10 minutes of video.
Yeah,
because it is that crazy up here that like we used to like to go sit at the mall and drink coffee and just people watch. But there was a point where we sat at the mall and I think we both agreed and we both brought it up. I was like, I don't think I can handle sitting here anymore.
Well, yeah, it was impacting our thought process on reality. Everyone was fucking weird.
But you saying that really confuses me because I feel like you just got done saying like that's why why I think the world's weird, but you don't as much. But
the thing about that is I believe in like you are in control of your reality, and we were choosing to go sit there, and it was impacting the way we saw the world.
but it was that was what society was doing at the time. That is
Not that,
reality.
you know, that was the mall. I mean, in
It's that's Vancouver or Portland. It's reality for this area, which is that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like if you're from small town Kentucky, you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about.
yeah, but maybe small town Kentucky has their other.
Oh, well, small town Kentucky has one trans person, and everybody's shaming him. But COVID was weird, and like everything I'm explaining is weird. Flat Earth is weird. But then, if none of that existed, just fucking Portland will twist your mind. Because Portland's that fucking weird.
It is. I mean, and certainly like I'm the first to admit going there affects me energetically.
Yeah.
Like you can feel it. What I'm trying to say is the difference between me and you is I can come home and I'm not thinking about it. It's not like what is happening?
Yeah. No, I think I do focus on it too much because I think it's like I was telling you the other day, I'm trying to make sense out of it. And there's nothing to make sense of.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we were talking about the other day when I said this isn't going to change. This person is just the way they are. It's the same. There is no sense here to be made.
Well, but I think it's me trying to understand what exactly humans are and what life is. Because my brain, for some reason, it wants everybody else in the world to be similar to how I feel. And for me to understand that it's not is so hard for
I
me to
get
grasp.
that. I mean, it took me a few years to let go of. Yeah, I get it.
But I think that's the realization I've come to in the last week. I was telling you this is it is really like I've come to terms that humans, and I've always like I've been the one that pointed this out a million times, but right now it's more than ever is that we are absolutely positively no different than bees or ants or pigs or cows. And the problem is we have like a percentage of us are horribly intelligent, just like insanely intelligent. But they're not the norm. And the norm is really at some point they're no more special than cows. Like they're just zombies and they're following along this program, like determinism or the matrix or whatever. They're just following along in the program.
Why does that bother you?
It bothers me because I've never seen it, and right now I'm trying to understand it. But I think we were talking about meditation, and I mean I've never understood it. Well, I still don't understand it, but I've never understood the way I do until we did it. And like I think like what is meditation, and I think that's the conclusion we came to: is meditation is your brain is running a program, and it really fucks the program up for you to stop the program for a minute. For 5 minutes, if you stop that program, like the program does not like that. It does not like that. And then all of a sudden, like your consciousness is like, whoa, like the program has stopped. Like, what is going on here? There's a lot going on that, like, but I was even thinking about it today because I was out working and, I don't know what you do when you work, like what you think about, but I go into a program. Like my brain totally goes into a program and like I was thinking about that today when I was working. I was like, that's so funny because I am just running a program and I am just like in this life being like what I'm talking about, like a cow, just like, meh, just chewing on some grass, just going through the program and being part of a video game. What do you call that?
Simulation?
No, the person, player, whatever.
Oh, first player character?
No, the opposite of that. What is some non-player? Like I'm a non-player character when I'm out there working because I'm just in this program and I'm thinking in a way that I've thought my whole entire fucking life when I work, and it's just kind of like wasting fucking life because you're just in a program and it's like The Sims. You ever play The Sims, the video game? It's just some people walking around and you're like, I walk up to a girl and it's like, well, here's options, like say hi, kiss her, yell at her, like whatever. And then you say kiss her and you don't even know her. And she's like, fuck you. And she slaps you. And it's all like, that's what we're doing, right? Is we're just in the simulator. Oh, work on this. Oh, like that's what I'm doing. And it's like, I was thinking about that today. I'm like, that's so weird that I'm in the simulation and I know I am. And like, what am I doing right now? What should I be doing right now? What should I be thinking about? Like,
that's what I was telling you. I've started like brushing my teeth with the other hand.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to disrupt the
program.
The program.
That's funny because you told me that. I think you were talking about showering though. And so I did start showering and going back to the soap. I would be like, before I'd like start soaping my arms and my chest and my legs. And you told me that and I'm like, well, I'm going to soap my face and my hair and stuff first. And I started doing that and like, but then my new program was just soaping my hair and my face. And
yeah, I think you need to switch it up.
But what's the point? Like, what are we going for?
New neurotransmitters, which is disrupting the program. But I think it's to practice on like doing those little disruptions so you can do some bigger disruptions.
Why do you want disruptions?
Experience, growth, like not just being a zombie all the time. I think with disruptions allows the observer, the witness, whatever you want to call it, your consciousness, to make the choices and not just the simulation.
Because why? Because
you don't want to be a cow.
Why?
I
think cows are happy.
Do you think these zombie people are happy?
In their way, yeah. Very. I think for sure. I think there's a lot of people that find comfort in coming home, plopping their fat ass on the couch and watching TV until it's time for bed. They don't talk to the wife. They don't talk to the kids. They're just like, just everybody shush. I'm watching my TV program. I'm gonna, date myself. I'm gonna watch my TV program and I'm gonna go to bed. I don't want to shit. And I want to wake up and I want to go to the same job in the same car tomorrow. And I don't want anybody to mess with that. I want peace and I don't want to think about anything I'm doing. Like, I think there's a lot of people like that.
Like, you think they're happy though? I think they're comfortable.
Yeah. I don't think it's a happiness or an unhappiness. I think it's just like being a zombie. I think that's what being a zombie is. And I think as a non-player character. And I think a vast majority of people find comfort in being a non-player character.
Comfort for sure.
Because there's no boats rocking, there's no thinking, there's no effort.
I want to rock the boat.
Well, yeah, so do I. Yeah. That's because you're chaotic and you're crazy and you like excitement. That's the way I am. Like, let's party. Yeah. You aping it hard or hardly aping it? Like, let's go. That's what I say. Like, you only got one life to live. It might as well be exciting.
I want to challenge myself. I don't want to live in a software program. I mean, I don't mind some things. Like the way I drive, it's a software program.
Oh, for
Fine.
sure.
Like, there are some things I don't mind if they're software programs, but no, I want to disrupt that shit.
It's I think one of the funnest thoughts is thinking about disrupting it and like going so far with how you can twist your own reality. Like, I think that's the funnest thought, like following Rob Dyrdek, like he really kind of seems like he's pushed that. At least he implies.
He has pushed it.
But
he's really been pushing it lately with how long he's going to live till 117, I think it is.
Yeah, but that's the fun part, right? And especially watching somebody at his level, which, who knows why or how he got to that high of a level. But to watch him like I'm gonna, well, yeah, but I mean, how old was he when he started DC Shoes? Like how do you get to that level of understanding at that age is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
But anyway, it's I think it's fun to look at, somebody like Elon, like, let's go to Mars. Like he's insane.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, well, let's just do whatever. Let's just make some shit up and do it. And he does it. And I think that's the fun part. Like, yeah, let's go to bed and let's wake up at 6 and take a shower and drive to my 8 to 5 and then come home and watch TV. Like, you are not pushing shit. Like, you are not pushing anything.
But I think that's like Alan Watts says, there's yin and there's yang. So without those people, there's not Elon Musk. Because for every, reaction, there's an opposite reaction. For every, like, for fear, there's happiness. There has to be that opposite for, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, but that doesn't seem true because it seems like people who push it are like a fraction of a percentage, and the non-player characters seem like 90% of people. So it doesn't seem like yin and yang in that sense. But
I'm not sure you could relate it to numbers that way.
I'm just saying, if you were saying like non-player character equals Elon Musk.
No, I'm not sure you can do it like from number to number, like person to person. It maybe could be like this is Elon and he has so much energy, and then this is like 60 million non-player characters.
Yeah. He has the energy of 60 million non-players.
Yes.
Yeah. That'll make sense. Yeah, I think that sums it up. I think, why not have fun? And I think it is exciting to like really push things, like one of the scariest things, one of my biggest fears ever in my whole entire life has been getting a job. And I think a lot of that's because I was raised without a lot of money, and I have had and still do have this fear of being poor. But, I got my job with Intel after I graduated school, and I was like, phew, like I don't ever have to apply for a job as long as I don't lose this one, and I'm set, because this is a huge fear, and I don't want to like interviews. Like, I didn't like interviews at all. And then I worked there for like 8 years, and I was like, oh my god, like somebody kill me. Like, this corporate America is like the most draining thing in the whole entire world for me. And then it occurred to me, like, I have to do something with my life. I have to be somebody. And so it was my greatest fear to not have a job, or to go find a job, or however you want to say it. And then that's when I quit that job to start my own business. So, just to give an understanding how I don't think you'd use the word thrilling or exciting, but how crazy it was for me to quit my 6-figure job, in the late 2000s, which was a ton of money, to go do my own thing and make jack shit and be poor, So But it's the same thing to me. Is like that's why I always started a business is because like, well, let's fire this up, like let's create something. Let's not just go to work 8 to 5 because I've done that. Like let's do something, and so I think you're right. It's like nobody wants to be a zombie. Well, people want to be a zombie. I don't want to be a zombie because I want to push it and I want to. I think the end goal is actually happiness for me, and I think I knew I couldn't make money and be happy in the corporate world, and so my end goal was I need to work for myself. Which my goal was actually to not make a ton of money, and it still isn't. My goal was to work for myself, set my own hours, and enjoy what I'm doing. And I don't know why everybody doesn't do that. Well, I do because it's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
But that was my goal, and it still is. And I guess it's still a struggle to manage all that because that was my goal. And then my business got out of hand and it got too big, and I wasn't happy, and so that's why I sold it. But now I'm still working on that. I got to find the happy medium.
Yeah, it's all a balance. There's a bliss point. You just got to find it.
Balance is so hard. I don't know how we got all this from the world being crazy, but what are we doing? Oh, 56. That's our average, probably.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to say about crazy people and crazy world and not being a zombie and me having a cold Thanksgiving?
I really don't have it covered at all. I think it was a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to sign off. I've been updating at least the podcast on Facebook. And, we're throwing a couple memes or something in there to throw. Like, if I see a good meme that's like changes my day, I'll throw that on there. In fact, I'll say this for everybody. Like, this has actually impacted my life quite a bit. We talk about algorithms, uh, and so it's been interesting because I started liking a couple of like positive meme pages, I guess you'd call them, on Facebook. And so all of a sudden my algorithm changed in my feed, and now it's just like positivity this and positivity that. And it really does change your life. And, I started following Rob Dyrdek and who's that? Alex Hormani.
Yeah. He impresses me.
He's super good. But man, just like if anybody's looking to improve their life in a super easy way, that's all I did recently is I just started following a couple people that just say like positive things every once in a while. And the catch is you have to discipline yourself. Like the Rob Dyrdek thing, he does like his podcast. He takes like reels from his podcast. Just spend the 15 seconds and actually read his stuff, and it changes my days. Like it literally does.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's really motivating.
Who's that other guy that used to be your friend on Facebook too? That's Steve Otwell or something like that. You know who I'm talking about? He's not like a famous person at all. He's just like some.
Still my friend on Facebook.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I always like his stuff too because it's always just positivity, and it's just an awesome. I don't even think he's making money on it or anything. He just says positive things all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you just like a couple people or like our Facebook page because we're throwing memes on there like that are positive. If you like our Facebook page and follow our Facebook page, maybe we can help bring positivity to your life.
Which I think that's what this is all about too. My thing for me that I don't want to be a zombie is being of service and any way I can bring a light when you feel like you're in a time of darkness or just give in any way that is helpful, which I think this is exactly that.
Well, and it's actually the like if you want to say that the world's a little sick right now, mental health problems and all that, it's actually what the cure is. The cure, nobody's going to come save us. Donald Trump isn't going to become president in 2024 and he isn't going to pass a bunch of bills and shut this down. He's not going to save us. It's not going to happen. What's going to save us is this, what we're talking about, this collective thinking has to shift.
Yeah.
And that comes from just like I was explaining the man, like when somebody's like, hey, check it out. So we're going to believe in like a triangle earth now. And then you get a bunch of people to believe in it, talking it. That's how you get things going. But that's what we're talking about, like Rob Dyrdek's and like this Alex Romani and Steve Otwell's and all these people. When people start spreading the good word, and then the good word spreads and spreads, that's how you change the world.
That's exactly.
You know,
how you
and
change
it's
the world.
being positive and saying good things and following it. You got
Being a role model.
Yeah, but you also, the people out there have to want to stop the algorithm of painful shit like I was going through with Flat Earth.
Yeah.
I have to stop looking at Flat Earth stuff because it's driving me insane, and I need to replace my Flat Earth stuff that's driving me insane with these people that I'm talking about, or with positive memes or things like that. And that's how I change myself. And then by changing myself, I pass that on to other people, and I change other people and other people, and we all change the world together. And that's how we get through this. If we get through it. That's my negativity. But it's realistic. Like, I don't know if we'll do it, but it's like you give it the best. Yeah, you just give it your best shot.
With every bad comes good. It just has to. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I convinced him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's to come. We'll figure it out. So anyway, check our Facebook. Our Instagram's not really happening because I don't know how you do memes on Instagram, so it kind of is failing. Instagram might not be our thing, but we still have Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. And actually, our last video was on fire. It was like 35 views.
Woo!
So we're catching on fire with 35 views.
Damn, we're rocking it.
Yeah, but anyway, I appreciate the 35 views, and maybe we'll make this video 36. And we're going to, what number is this?
I have no idea. 18.
Yeah, and we're moving on. We do 100 before you know it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to quit. It's just what we're doing.
We're rocking it.
Okay, so anyway, just mumbled on for like another 6-7 minutes. But anyway, my nose is getting more and more stuffy because my cold is moving on. It's nighttime, so time to go to bed.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. All that stuff.